Today's video is how to find the slope of a line if you're not given the graph. So what we will use is the slope formula. So again, the slope formula is used to find the slope between 2 points when we're not given a graph. And we'll label the coordinates x1 and y1 and x2 and y2. So here's how our formula looks. Of course, we have m. Remember, m means the slope. So m equals, remember how it was rise over run in the last video you watched? The rise is the y coordinates. So we're going to do y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So let me show you how this works using the first example here. So number 1 says we have the coordinate 1, 1 and 4, 3. And it says to find the slope between each pair of points. You're going to label your first coordinate. Well, first off, remember, it goes x and then y. X comes first in a coordinate and then y. I'm going to call this first coordinate x1 and y1. And my second coordinate x2 and y2. Just like they want it up here. Okay, and then we're literally going to shove them into our formula. So it says to do y2. So I said y2 was 3. So it'd be 3 minus, then it says to do minus y1, which I labeled as 1. And then all over. Then our formula says to do x2, which x2 is 4. Oops. So then we'll do 4, and then it says to do minus x1, and my x1 is 1. So when I simplify this, 3 minus 1 makes 2, and 4 minus 1 makes 3. So my slope between those 2 points is 2/3. Up to right 3, 2/3. All right, let me also try number 2 with you. So first step, label the coordinates. So it always goes x1, y1, x2, y2. And then we're going to follow our formula. I'll write it down here. y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. All right. So our formula starts by saying to do y2. So that's -2. So we're going to do -2 minus, it says to do minus y1. My y1 is 4, so minus 4. And then it says divide it by, and it wants me to do x2. My x2 is 10 minus x1, which I have as -2 in this problem. So be really careful. You are going to write minus -2. It's always minus in the formula. And then that just happened to be -2. So now it's okay to use a calculator. Don't let these negatives trip you up. -2 minus 4 is -6. 10 minus -2, minus a negative, remember, is like plus a positive. So 10 plus 2 makes 12. Now make sure you simplify or reduce your answer. So -6 divided by 12, put that in your calculator. You should see it reduces to -1/2. So my slope is -1 over 2. All right, now I would like you to try number 3 and 4 on your own. For number 5, it says 5, 9 and 3, 9. So I label my first coordinate x1 and y1 and my second coordinate x2 and y2. So we follow our formula, y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. All right, so y2 comes first, so that's 9 in this problem. So I'll have 9 minus. Then it says to subtract y1, which is also 9 in this problem. So 9 minus 9 all over. Then it wants me to do x2, which in this problem is 3, minus x1, which we labeled our 5 as. So now if I simplify, 9 minus 9 is 0, and 3 minus 5 is negative 2. But what is 0 divided by negative 2? Well, 0 divided by anything is 0, so we have a slope of 0. All right, let's try number 6. So again, first things first, label your x1 and your y1, x2 and y2. So our formula says to do y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Okay, so in this problem, y2 is 5. So I have 5 minus, my y1 is 8. So 5 minus 8 all over. Then it wants me to do x2, which is negative 7, minus, it wants me to subtract x1, which is negative 7 in this problem. So when I simplify, 5 minus 8 is negative 3. And then this is like negative 7 plus 7 because of the minus negative, which is 0. So in your calculator, type negative 3 divided by 0. What do you get? You should get an error message. So the slope here is undefined. All right, I would like you to try number 9 on your own. Now I would like you to try number 10 on your own. All right, let's start in this section that says going backwards. So it says sometimes you must complete the ordered pair using a given slope. So for example, it might say if the slope of the line passing through the points negative 5, 6, and 5y is negative 4 over 5, find y. So let's go ahead and do this example together. So we're still using our slope formula, which was y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. So we're literally going to work this thing backwards. Your first step is still going to be to label your coordinates. So just like last time. So we have x1, y1, and x2, y2. Once you label them, fill them in or plug them in your formula. So I know this is my slope formula. It equals m. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Do we have our y2? Y2 we said was y. So we'll have y minus. Then what is our y1? We labeled y1 was 6. So I'll have minus 6 all over. Wants me to do x2. x2 is 5. And then minus x1. And our x1 we labeled was negative 5. And it tells us that the slope is negative 4/5. So I'm going to put that in for my m. So this whole thing equals negative 4/5. All right, so if we go ahead and clean this up a little bit. So we can't, I'm going to go ahead and write in this problem here. We just won't do this one. If I clean this up a little bit, writing down here, we'd have y minus 6 all over. And then 5 minus negative 5 is like 5 plus 5, so it's 10. And then that equals negative 4/5. So now we have a proportion, and we've done this before. Remember when we cross multiplied? And I think some people called it like the butterfly method. So I would do 5 times y minus 6. And I'm just going to write it like that for now. Equals. And then I'm going to have to multiply these two. So 10 times negative 4. So if I clean this up, multiply that in, I get 5y. 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. And then 10 times negative 4 is negative 40. And now finish solving this like you would a normal equation. I would add 30 to both sides. and I get 5y equals negative 10. To get rid of that 5, we divide by 5, and our answer would be y equals negative 2. So our answer to that entire problem is y equals negative 2. All right, so let me do number 13 with you now. So in number 13, again, first start off by labeling. So I have x1 and y1, x2 and y2, and then of course I have my slope. So we're going to plug it into our formula. My y2 is 6, and that's what it wants me to start with. So y2 is 6, so 6 minus. My y1 is negative 2, so 6 minus negative 2 all over. My x2 is x minus my x1 is negative 3. And it equals our slope, which is 2. So if we clean this up a little bit, 6 minus negative 2 is 8 over x minus negative 3. That's like x plus 3, because minus and negative is a plus, and it equals 2. And so that I have a proportion, I'm going to put 2 over 1, because it's easier to cross multiply if we have two fractions there. So if it's just a whole number, put it over 1. Then now we can do our little butterfly method. So we're going to do 2 times x plus 3 equals, and then 8 times 1, which is just 8. So now if I finish solving, multiply your 2 in, you get 2x plus 6 equals 8. Subtract your 6, you get 2x equals 2. Divide by 2, and you get x equals 1. So that is my answer to number 13, x equals 1. All right, I want you to try number 17 on your own. So go ahead and try number 17 now. All right, let's try number 19 together. So again, first thing you want to do is label. That's my x1 and y1, x2 and y2, and then of course I have my m. So if we write our formula, y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1 equals m. And then we'll fill everything in. So y2 is 5 minus y1 is y, that's the one I don't know, all over. Then it wants me to do x2, which is my 0, minus x1, which is 4 in this problem. And it equals the slope. It equals m, which they gave me was 3/4. All right, so now if I clean it up, I can't really do much with 5 minus y, so that'll stay 5 minus y. 0 minus 4 is negative 4, and it still equals 3/4. So from here, I'm going to cross multiply. So 5 minus y times 4, I'm going to write it like this, 4 times 5 minus y equals, then I have to multiply those two, so 3 times negative 4. So next thing is to distribute, so 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times y is 4y, and then 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. We'll finish solving this for x, or y, sorry. We're going to subtract 20 from both sides. That subtraction sign will turn into a negative. So now we have negative 4y equals negative 32. Then I'll divide by negative 4. And negative 32 divided by negative 4 is positive 8. So my answer is y equals 8. Now I would like you to try number 20 on your own. Once you have finished that problem and answered all of the questions, you have now completed this video. If there's anything you still do not understand, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask.